But suddenly, a glowing fist punches him across the face. Smith! Smith looks up to see Superman surrounded by now clad in more powerful armor. You should have stayed the hell away from Kansas.
Hold on! Hold on! What this is, man?
Today,
next one, let's go.
Earth 6 years ago. The last ship of Krypton flies through the dark vastness of the stars. On board, Kal-El huddles in fear. But Sol continues to scan, reaching out with his sensors and searching for a planet to land on with his young charge. 8 days go by, and Kal is alone. 8 weeks pass, still no sign of life.
If a media, hold on, I gotta pause. Wait. If a media doesn't outright show you someone dying, then there's a good chance they're alive and might show up later. Every time, if they do not show you that they died, I'm taking them as that they lived. Because they could always just retcon it. If they didn't show you the death, they could always just retcon it, bro. That's why, like, unless I see somebody get domed, I'm not believing it, to be honest. I'm really not, bro. Like, I'm watching Snowfall right now. There's a character that Franklin shoots and gets killed off screen. Not a spoiler, by the way, but I'm gonna lightly explain it. He shoots someone and they die off screen. I feel like that nigga might come back, bro. He probably won't. That's not the type of show that would do that. But like the way that death was set up, it is like if that was an anime, that nigga would come back in like in like 2 arcs after as like a robot or something. He'd be like, "Oh, I actually lived the whole time, but like the shot just like broke like half my head." Like I feel like an anime would 100% do that. I don't think Snowfall's doing that for sure. But if that happened in an anime, the way that he died, I wouldn't trust the show. If you know, you know. If you know who I'm talking about, the one in the park. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Hated that.
Boy is going crazy with loneliness. 17 months, 14 days, and Kal is curled up in a ball on the deck of his small ship. Sol has become concerned. His only job is to keep Kal safe. Kal-El, you have not consumed your daily allotment of rehydrated protein slurry, the AI tells him. But Kal shakes his head. He doesn't care. Slowly, he sits up and stares out into the darkness of space. We've traveled 9 million light years, and how many habitable worlds have we found? He demands. Sol pauses for a long time before finally answering. 0, Kal. The answer is 0, the AI tells him. Kal nods. He demands. Sol pauses a million light years, and how many habitable wears out into the darkness of space? We've traveled 9 million light years, and how many habitable worlds have we found? He demands. Sol pauses for a long time before finally answering. 0, Kal. The answer is 0, the AI tells him.
0 habitable worlds.
He bangs his hands on the viewpoint once. His anger rose before finally fading away. You can keep going if you want, but just let me out. You did your best. Don't worry about me. Just drop me off here, Kal whispers. He points to an approaching system. Right in that big yellow sun, he sighs. But Sol can't do that. He reminds Kal that his sole purpose is to protect Kal-El. But Kal isn't listening. He is still staring at the yellow sun. But suddenly, his body starts to feel warm, and his eyes begin to glow. Sol, why is it so hot in here all of a sudden? I'm burning up, Kal says as fear begins to creep into his voice. Turn around!
Damn.
Get us away from that star! Kal gasps, but a chime suddenly sounds. Wait, life-sustaining world detected, Sol suddenly says, aiming the craft for a blue world before them. But heat begins to radiate from Kal's eyes as he screams in pain, and the ship begins to break up as it enters the atmosphere. Far
Crazy,
below,
bro.
Martha and John Kent look up from their dried cornfield in Kansas. Damn, weatherman said there'd be rain, Martha sighs, but John shakes his head.
Hold on, man. I know y'all saying, Zeph, you mad freaky this stream. I know. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all might have to hear a nigga out. You might have to hear a nigga out. At least in this bit. You might have to hear a nigga out. The real ones in here gonna see the vision. That's all I'm gonna say.
Clutches at their dying crop. Must be nice to have a job where you get to be wrong more times than not, he points out. Martha nods her head and looks to her husband. reminding him that
didn't he already land though? That's the one thing I gotta ask. Didn't he already land, or did he go back in the ship? Because he already landed in the last issue, and he started walking to Smallville. I don't know why he's in the ship again, and he's crash landing. I'm assuming he probably left. But let's get back to it.
Not, he points out. Martha nods her head and looks to her husband, reminding him that the Lazarus Corporation has drones that can alter the weather over their fields, and explains that someone in town saw them. But John shakes his head. Martha, we both know such a thing ain't possible, he tells her. But he looks
I think the bit of him walking was the present. Oh, okay.
around and ponders whether it's true, whether Lazarus really can do the things rumors
And that makes
say.
sense there, because he was tweaking out, so he probably just wanted to walk back to Smallville to like refresh his head. Okay. I was confusing the two.
If it is true, what hope have we got of winning against something like that? He whispers. But suddenly, there's a roar from the sky, and a great fireball slams into the field by their house. Cal steps from the flames, unharmed, but yelling as if every cell in his body is going into overload. But he can still hear Soul's voice as the red sand-shaped AI unfolds as the ship wraps around him protectively. Kal-El, I regret to inform you that my energy cells are quite depleted. I must power down for brief. Soul says softly before fading away. Cal looks up as two people approach. He holds out a hand and calls for help. But John and Martha.
Why are you saying that? It's different language, right?
Yeah,
different language. Okay.
Finally, the flames fade.
So he came into Earth as a teenager in this verse. He a teenager in this verse already. Very interesting. I don't know how different it's going to make the story, but that's pretty interesting.
Cal collapses to the ground. Martha finally rushes forward, shocked by this strange visitor. Where did his ship go? It's like he absorbed it, she gasps. John doesn't like it though, thinking that they should call for
that's what they
police.
meant by the suit being a rock. Okay. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, Superman, your mom was cooking, bro. Your mom was cooking with that right
Martha
there.
shakes
She
her
was
head,
cooking.
reminding him that minutes ago they were asking for a miracle. He was covered in flames, but now he's not even harmed. Don't you know an angel when you see one? She asks softly. And so, the Kents tried to take care of the boy. His body burned with a fever for days. He would thrash in his sleep as he recovered. His limbs so powerful that he would break the bed with one swing.
Wow.
One night, they found him drifting in the air, floating over the bed.
That brother is floating. Yo, you can't even see because my damn camera. That brother is floating. That brother is floating, bro. My goodness, bro. Nigga in the G's. He said, oh. Yo, no shot, bro. No shot. Let me move my camera, bro. My goodness, bro. She look like she seen a ghost. She look like she think she's seen a ghost. Nigga think he Cardi. Real life, bro. Nigga
Another
swear
day,
he Cardi.
Red beams of heat shot from his eyes when he awoke from a nightmare, only to once more pass out again. Eventually, his body would calm.
W. Kent's though. You suffered through all that, and they still kept him in the crib. One swing destroyed the bed. He was sick the whole time, floating in the air, destroyed the bed with his laser beams. That probably didn't just destroy the bed. That probably destroyed a good portion of the room, too. Damn.
Pass out again. Eventually, his body would calm. The fever
W.
would go away,
Kent's,
and
bro.
Cal slept
W.
peacefully.
Kent's.
John found Martha sitting by the visitor's bedside. Martha, we can't keep him here. If we do, he's gonna be the death of us. You know that, right? John asks. But Martha shakes her head. She can sense that the boy is confused and suffering. He's been through something awful to get here. You can tell, she whispers. She looks back at her husband, reminding him that they've lost everything. But maybe we can still save him, she says quietly. Suddenly, Cal's eyes open and he launches from the bed in the blink of an eye. Jonathan jumps to protect Martha as Cal smashes through the bedroom wall and runs out into the world, streaking across the field fast enough to tear plants from the ground.
Wow.
He suddenly stops and stares at this strange world around him.
Dude, I feel so bad for these niggas. You just harbored some random in your crib. He not only destroying it in his sleep, the moment he wakes up, he just destroyed the whole roof. Nigga just ran. Wow. KE was just talking about it too. What'd he say? He was just talking about it too.
Eventually, his body would calm. The fever would go away, and Cal slept peacefully. John found Martha sitting by the visitor's bedside. Martha, we can't keep him here. If
Literally, bro.
we do, he's gonna be the death of us.
I can't even blame him. He's done nothing but destroy in his sleep. He woke up and immediately blew the freaking roof off. He better have fixed it. Yo, that's insane stuff.
He is alone, and Soul doesn't speak to him. Cal doesn't know it, but Soul has been quiet for weeks. But somehow, as Cal stared out into the fields of this new world, he could sense that he had found his new home. 2 weeks later, the Kents still can't understand Cal's speech, but he still aids them, using his incredible strength to help them around the farm. John is trying to fix a tractor enough to get it started and drive it into the barn, but Cal simply picks it up. Heavens, don't reckon I'll ever get used to that. John whispers as he watches the boy carry the tractor over his head with one hand. Cal has become like a son to them in the short time, and though neither of them know it, both John and Martha have thanked him for saving them both. One day, Martha looks up at Cal, who smiles at her. I know you came here searching for something.
He's doing his share. Yeah, at least he's doing his share. At least he's doing his work. At least he's doing his work, cause bro, I would have been sick. I would have been sick. W-mans.
Who smiles at her.
I would have been
I know
sick.
You came here searching for something. Might just be it's the same thing we was looking for too. And I just hope, well, I hope we can find it together, she tells him. Another day, Cal is working on the tractor, remembering what his mother taught him about listening to the engine, when suddenly, the symbol on his chest begins to glow. Cal? Soul suddenly says as Cal looks down at it in shock. Apologies. My recharging took much longer than I anticipated. Cal, be warned. I fear this system's yellow sun may supercharge your Kryptonian cells in wildly unexpected ways. Soul warns.
Crazy.
Cal,
would you have this Superman be a roommate? I doubt it. Yo, I can't even sleep next to the nigga clearly. Like if we're in the same room, I can't even sleep in the same room safely. You get a nightmare, I might get sawed in half. That's I don't know about that one, man. I don't know. Would you live in the same room with this nigga? I don't think so.
cocks an eyebrow at his
Not in
words.
this state.
You don't say, he whispers. He stands up as he feels Soul's system surging as his suit forms around him. Never mind that for now, Soul. I need you to download whatever language these people speak, Cal tells him. In moments, he is walking towards the farmhouse's front porch, where the Kents are sitting. Cal smiles at them. Hello, my name is Kal-El. I fixed your tractor. He tells them in his first attempt.
Nigga got terrible English, but W man still though. W man still.
Him in shock for a moment. My God, John whispers, but Martha just smiles. Kal-El, such a lovely name. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Kal-El, she says as they both step down to shake the boy's hand and introduce themselves. I'm Martha Kent, and this is my husband, Jonathan. Cal, I detected some manner of remote drones operating in the skies above, with apparent weather-influencing capabilities. I took the liberty of disabling them, Soul reports. The Kents look on in shock as the drones drop out of the sky and slam into the field around them.
Yo, Soul low-key OP. How did he do that? Yo, Soul low-key OP.
Influencing capabilities.
Low-key?
I took the liberty of disabling.
You low-key broken,
the
twin.
Kents look on in shock.
You in the middle of the farmlands. Like you wasn't connected to no computer. You wasn't hooked up to like some crazy. Bro, you wasn't hooked up to no router or nothing. You just dropped these niggas off. Yo, you I keep broken.
As the drones drop
I'm
out
not
of the
gonna
sky
lie. You I
and
keep
slam into the
broken.
field around them. Moments later, thunder rumbles overhead and lightning cracks. Hello, Kents, Cal says softly as rain begins to fall down all around them. But the Kents don't know that someone from Lazarus has come to investigate the missing drones and reported him for terrorist activity and immigration violation. The rain fell for 3 days, and though this brought
Yo, y'all think once if aliens actually do enter Earth, do you think we're legitimately gonna have immigration conversations about them? I think we will. I think if we see a UFO actually land in American soil, I think them niggas are going to be more worried about immigration and papers more than actually examining the alien life. If an alien ever lands on Earth, I pray it's anywhere but America. I pray, dude, I can't. Americans are too stupid, bro. They would have more conversations about whether he should stay on the planet because he doesn't have a green card than actually being like, oh, he's an alien. Maybe we should try to see what he's about. Dude, in this timeline, we're cooked. Nah, bro. Nah. I would rather him land anywhere else. How did that nigga land in Brazil like how they was doing earlier, bro? Dude, anywhere but America, I beg, bro. Anywhere but America.
It was not to last. The fourth day saw the arrival of the Peacekeeper unit. Tanks and helicopters churned up the mud as the squadron of Peacekeepers step up to forcibly pull Cal from the Kent's home. Martha tries to reason with them, and Jonathan steps up to defend his wife. But one of the soldiers moves in and punches him across the jaw, knocking him to the ground. The boy's got no ID and no work permit. We're taking him in for processing. The soldiers shout as two of the soldiers are struggling to put Cal in the back of the truck. Little fella's stronger than he looks! One of them grunts.
Is Superman landed in Nigeria? Bro, depends where in Nigeria, bro. He lands in the city where people can see it, bro. They're gonna think it's the Rapture. Yo, you saw the little Rapture fake thing they did last week, bro. Like, dude, low-key, if it lands somewhere in Africa, too, niggas gonna think it's the Rapture. I don't know if Africa's a good spot either. Europe, I don't see anything wrong with Europe. I don't think Europe niggas gonna be that crazy. Asian niggas gonna experiment on them, I feel like. Yeah, if he lands in, like, Russia or something, too. There's literally a comic on what if Superman landed in Russia. I forget what it's called. We gotta read that one on stream sometime. What else? I think South America he'd be cool in. I think Australia he might be cooked just because the animals there are like insane. The animals there are legit insane. Red Sun, yeah, Red Sun is what when he lands in Russia. I hear that one is fire. I gotta read that at some point. Australia he'd be cooked because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Them animals would tear him apart. If he's a baby, if he lands as a baby, them animals might whoop that nigga, bro. High key. Antarctica might be too cold for him when he's a baby, but even if he's a baby, I don't know if his superpowers are like that. I don't know if hypothermia would have murked him even as a baby, but I don't know. The ideal place what would be the ideal place for Superman to land? It would have to be a farmland. It would have to be a farmland like this. It'd have to be a farmland like this. If it's anywhere where a government would immediately catch notice, I think in any country, anywhere in the world, it'd be a problem, low-key. Anywhere in the problem, low-key. Nigga said Japan, bro. If it was Japan pre-World War II, my nigga, no. They would put Superman in like the worst experiments ever known to mankind. They would commit war crimes on him. Dude, no. Nigga said Japan, no, bro. Yo, Japan's PR is crazy. Japan is so lucky they literally got bombed into submission because they were literal supervillains before they got bombed. Like, I think it's actually people underestimate how bad Japan was so badly. Like, I would damn near say there was multiple niggas in Japan probably worse than the mustache man in Germany. I could probably say that. I know there was Japanese niggas who would have done what he did. They did way more with less. So dude, nigga said Japan. No, gang, no, buddy. No, bro, no.
As they slam Cal's head into the truck.
No.
I cannot allow you to be taken by these men. Sol suddenly says, lashing out with his abilities to knock the soldiers aside. Cal looks in fear and surprise, unsure why the Peacekeepers are attacking him. Talk to them. Tell them who we are. Tell them about Krypton, Cal says to Sol as he shoves one of the tanks away with ease. We do not belong here.
During World War II, there was RAP, the Chinese. I didn't even know that. See that? I didn't even know that. I was thinking about other stuff. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that, man.
To protect you.
I'm gonna do my research. That's
Cal
wow.
moves to help the Kents, but they both shake their heads. Son, please, go. John and Martha whisper. Tears fill Cal's eyes as he realizes he's going to lose them. But he suddenly leaps up into the air and flies away. He would stay on the move, going from town to town, seeing this new world, and slowly realizing that he might not be able to save it, that it might end, just like Krypton. Present day, Agent Lois Lane has tracked Superman's movements. She arrives at the Smallville Senior Living Facility and flashes her badge. I'm looking for Martha Kent. Is she a resident here? You might say, I'm a friend of the family, she tells the receptionist. Meanwhile, at a Lazarus Corp research center in the Nevada desert, Someone else is tracking Agent Lane's movements. Brainiac smiles as he watches the camera feed. Agent Lane is quite the investigator. She's barely required any coaxing on my part. Just a nudge, really. Brainiac says to his benefactor over the other feed, the one that shows him Lazarus headquarters. You deliver what you have promised me, and you ensure your place in the world that is coming. The leader of Lazarus says as he steps from the pool. His followers step forward with robes and a towel as the magic liquid falls away. The androids raise their hands in praise as Ra's al Ghul stands before them.
No
Salvation
shot.
is close at hand. for
Ra's al
billions upon
Ghul?
billions. Once the Superman kneels at the feet of his holy father, Ra's al Ghul. The
My
immortal
nigga Race? A Superman villain in this? They got my nigga Race over here?
And that concludes the first arc of Absolute
What?
Superman.
They got my nigga Race as a Superman villain? Oh no. Alright, we're gonna have to see the rest of this. We got how much we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Superman. But
We
today,
got 6 left. Okay, that's not gonna be that bad. Alright, so we gonna let me skip it. Yo, Brainiac look tough. Oh, Brainiac look crazy right here.
issue number 7 by Jason Aaron. I hope you enjoy.
This is a different voice?
The team of Omega Men drop into the secret facility somewhere in the Nevada desert.
It is.
They drop down into the shadows, readying their weapons.
Or
as
maybe
they
just sound
synchronize
different.
their cortexes with their combat suits. Weapons up.
We need a poll on
and
if I'm
move through the
handsome.
shadows.
Yo, we gotta do like a Discord call or something. Where like, y'all gotta send your faces in the Discord, and we gotta see who's the best looking in the server. We gotta do something like that. Nightboy, if you could do that, I'll start the poll. I'll start the poll.
Shifting past strange technology and purple mist that clings to the floor. No signs of life. Facility appears deserted. The kind of power this place pulls from the grid. They must be hiding something here. Something big. But if it's the server cluster that runs the Brainiac algorithm, there's no way Lazarus would leave this place unguarded. So stay alert. The team leader thinks to the others as they shift forward. But suddenly, there is a burst of energy, and one of the agents falls to the ground, struggling in pain as the skin seems to be peeled from his body. What the hell
Who's
was
that?
What just happened to Call? One of the agents thinks.
Oh my gosh. Yo, this nigga just got exorcised. Nigga. Oh my gosh. Nigga, who are you fighting?
As they take
Bro!
over, but a new voice in their head answers. Why? I shrank his skin, of course. The voice tells them. The team leader raises his weapon, prepared to fire. He glances back at his other agents, but they're already falling to the ground. One starts crying out that they can't feel their muscles anymore.
Wow. Oh, yo, that's so nasty. I like it though. Yeah, that's a
While
good
the
art
other's
though.
bones have shrank in his
But
body,
damn.
and he is vomiting them up in a pool of viscera. The team leader turns and runs, firing blindly into the shadows.
Omega Strike Force to base. Immediate evac needed. Primus, do you copy?
The team leader shouts, but his hand suddenly enlarges and the rifle falls to the ground. He topples to the ground from the weight. Shh, now, clear your thoughts. Relax that luscious brain of yours. I'll take it from here. The voice thinks, as Brainiac steps from the shadows. His body
Damn.
held together by machines. And the team leader lets out a scream
That's
of
a
fear.
fire design. What y'all thinking, chat? I like that right there. Not gonna lie, legs look a little crazy, but I like what I'm seeing.
Later, the team leader is held together by machines as Brainiac picks at his body, studying his biology. The body shifts, and the man struggles to open his mouth, his brain suspended in a jar nearby. I wouldn't advise wiggling in your condition. I tend to tinker when I'm feeling anxious, Brainiac says as he steps forward. He glances back at his monitors and glares at the images of the so-called
My
Superman.
goodness.
He can't work it out, Brainiac says as he steps forward. He glances back at his monitors and glares at the images of the so-called Superman. He can't work it out, can't figure out where he comes from, how he is able to do what he can. Brainiac roars in anger and frustration and grabs one of the nearby shrunken cities,
he's
shaking the
tweaked.
glass and demanding the
He's
scientists inside
tweaked.
to give him the answers he desires.
He is
Tell me
tweaked.
who he is.
Who is Superman? Oh, that's hard.
Brainiac
That's hard.
bows.
That's
The
hard.
tiny scientists don't know.
We know nothing, Almighty Brainiac. Please, please don't.
They shout, but Brainiac
Yeah, the
whirls
voice
and
acting on that
throws
is
the glass
crazy.
onto the ground. He steps on the city with an angry roar. Maggots! Morons! He yells as he begins squashing the beings as
Wow.
if they were bugs. Brainiac breathes deeply and gathers himself before turning back to the shattered tactical agent. My apologies. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm afraid I can lose my mind a bit when I'm angry. Brainiac says as he reaches up and pokes at his exposed brain tissue, explaining that he's tried to cut free the parts of his brain that lead to anger, but has been unsuccessful so far. He
Cut
turns
parts
back
of his
to the
brain that leads to anger is crazy. Could you actually do that, chat? I know there's certain parts of your brain that like are legitimately are like they signal certain emotions. Could you legitimately do that? If I wanted to legitimately take out the part of my brain that feels sadness, could I successfully do that and get away with it? Could I actually get that done? Cause that would be pretty cracked. Would it not? That'd be pretty cracked. Like imagine you could just like get a surgery and you don't feel sadness anymore. Or it's like you don't feel anger anymore. What's a emotion people wouldn't want to feel? I don't even know, but it's like you could just get an emotion like kicked out of your head if you really want to. I feel like that's tough. I don't know. I feel like that's a tough ability, bro.
surgical table and sits on the ground, admitting that having someone to talk to might help him work through the problem. Brainiac closes his eyes and thinks back to the past. Many years earlier, Brainiac first opened his eyes. He stepped from his pod and looked at another Brainiac that stood before him. You are Brainiac 419,732. You serve the Collective. What is the Collective? Brainiac asks. But the older man waves a hand of dismissal and explains that he is not allowed to seek knowledge beyond his station. He says as he hands Brainiac a shovel. He motions to a furnace and a nearby pile of dead Brainiacs, explaining that Brainiac 419,732's job is to shovel the refuse into the liquidator. Begin shoveling, 419,732. You are already behind schedule, the older Brainiac states before walking out of the room. And so, Brainiac began, shoveling the dead bodies into the liquidator. The bodies never ended. The ceiling would open and a chute would deposit more. It was on day 2,844 that Brainiac discovered that someone wasn't dead. A murderous Brainiac.
So basically saying you would have a brain surgery to turn yourself into a psychopath? What's the definition of a psychopath? Not feeling an emotion? Is that what the definition is? Is that the purest definition of a psychopath? Yeah, lack of empathy, remorse, guilt. Now, I don't want to remove that, but like remove sadness for myself. But I guess if you remove sadness, that includes sadness for others, I guess, right? That's fair. Okay. I was thinking more so on myself. I was thinking in terms of, oh, I don't feel empathy for others. But when I said that, I meant more so like if I remove anger, nothing could anger me. Nothing could make me sad. I wasn't thinking in terms of other people, so I guess that does make me a psychopath, huh? That is kind of funny.
Tore free of the pile, trying to drive a knife into Brainiac's head. Wait, I serve the Collective. What is your function? I am Brainiac 8,238,759. I stab. I kill. The murderer declares as he prepares to stab again.
Nigga,
but
loser.
Brainiac manages to push him off and grab.
Nigga said his whole government while stabbing. He's like, my name is what was it? Brainiac 700. I stab, I kill. Nigga swore he was so tough. Nigga swore he was so tough. Yeah, okay, buddy. Nigga thought he was so tough.
It off. I am Brainiac 419,732. I shovel. He states simply before throwing the body into the liquidator. Day 13,638. Brainiac continues to shovel. His body is ravaged. Cuts and broken limbs expose his blood and brains. But he continues onward. Day 49,901. Brainiac stands ready, but the room is empty. He rests easily on his shovel, but the ceiling does not open. No more refuse is brought into the room. Finally, he walks to the door, the one that the older Brainiac walked out of.
Brainiac on Brainiac crime? Nah, seriously though. They really wiping each other. This is Brainiac on Brainiac crime. I don't even know why they doing all this.
Brainiac continues to shovel.
No way.
His ravaged, cuts and broken limbs expose his blood and brains.
With a shovel too. With a shovel too.
49,901. Brainiac stands ready, but the room is empty. He rests easily on his shovel, but the ceiling does not open. No more refuse is brought into the room. Finally, he walks to the door, the one that the older Brainiac walked out of all those years ago. Hello? Is anyone there? There hasn't been any refuse in a long while. Should I? He begins to call, but there's no answer. Finally, he wedges his shovel into the door and pries it open, revealing an empty corridor. Brainiac moves forward, passing strange technology and small cities trapped in bottles. More Brainiac bodies stored in pods. Finally, Brainiac arrives on the bridge, where he finds the older Brainiac dead. Oh my, are you...
Damn!
Brainiac 1? He whispers, but there is no answer. He walks forward to see the lifeless Brainiac slumped in the chair. No, you are more refuse, Brainiac says as he looks up out of the windows and stares at the stars as they pass by. He smiles slowly. I am Brainiac? I am Brainiac! He shouts with joy. That was the day that he was promoted.
They got the Fortnite Battle Royale. Last nigga left. Nigga got the Fortnite Battle Royale, bro. The Battle Royale win, bro. It was real life the last one left, bro. You truly are Brainiac, I guess. Yes, sir. That's crazy, bro.
Brainiac 1. The one where he allowed himself the knowledge of the other Brainiacs. And Brainiac admits that he wondered what else was out in the universe, beyond the stars. In the present, Brainiac stands over the Omega agent. I've sometimes paused to consider the possibility that it would have been better for everyone, me included, if I'd stayed in that room with the shovel. But where would the fun in that be? Brainiac tells the man. He leans over him, thanking him for helping him work through his anger. Contact the Brainiac Collective. Brainiac orders his computer as he turns away. The screens switch and light up, revealing the faces of other Brainiacs around the universe. Brainiac uploads the information that he's gathered and requests any and all possible leads related to Superman's identity.
Wait, so how many clones does he have? There's that much across the universe? How many Brainiacs are there? It's like an Ultron thing where there's just so much Brainiacs. I mean, there's just like Ultron just got like an infinite amount of clones. Like, how much Brainiacs are out there? That's so crazy. How many Brainiacs they got out there, my nigga? Jeez. Their numbers were really high, too. When they were saying their numbers, I don't remember off top. Their numbers were stupid high. I thought he was the last one standing. Nigga, no. There's still there's 10 on here. I thought when he said I am Brainiac, I thought he was the last one. No, wow. That's an interesting concept. Yeah, someone in the chat just said that. Yes, that truly is, bro. Dude, I need to see how he's gonna operate as a villain. This is gonna be like Ultron done right, because Ultron, when he's done right, Ultron got an infinite supply of himself, man. I don't think all of them are his though, as in all the Brainiacs are his. So like, how does this work then? I don't know Brainiac like that. I don't know if like all continuities he has a bunch of different variations. How does this work then if not all of the Brainiacs are his, quote unquote? If someone in the chat could explain that, I'm gonna keep the video playing though.
The information that he has gathered and requests any and all possible leads related to Superman's identity and/or planet of origin. The other Brainiacs study his reports, but are shocked by what they see, calling the reports idiocy and that no species has the abilities described. One by one, they sign off. until one speaks up. Krypton, a planet in the Rouse sector. Your dust sample matches Krypton's thermal signature. The female Brainiac states, informing Brainiac 419,732 that the world was destroyed and there were no survivors. But this Brainiac did recently visit the former site of Krypton, where I retrieved samples of its remains. They display a rather virulent range of radioactivity, now transmitting the sample's elemental composition. The female Brainiac says. She begins to inquire about the identity of the Brainiac that called this meeting, but Brainiac ends the transmission. Brainiac turns back to his machines as they begin to synthesize a piece of Krypton that matches the specifications sent by the other Brainiac. And he smiles as a plan begins to form. I have work to do, he whispers to himself. Later, he stands before a table where his machines are working on Peacemaker Smith. He is an alien, not even of this world.
Wow.
Tell me, Peacemaker Smith, how does that make you feel?
Wow, Peacemaker don't deserve that, bro. Wow, Peacemaker don't deserve that, bro. He looks so goofy with them legs. Now, real life, bro. I can't take a nigga seriously. They got archaic, bow-legged legs like this, man. I can't. That nigga look too goofy. That's crazy, though. He don't deserve that, man.
Peacemaker Smith, how does that make
Not
you
to my
feel?
nigga Peace, bro.
Brainiac asks. But Smith merely screams in pain as the machines continue to work. He doesn't understand, questioning why he is being punished. Just kill me already, he begs. But Brainiac steps from the shadows and smiles. Quite the contrary, Peacemaker. Director Al Ghul was very impressed with your work in the field. You're being trusted with a very special deployment to what is soon to be the most dangerous war zone on the planet. A place called Kansas. Brainiac whispers to him. He turns away and stares at the war suit that he has developed.
Damn, they gonna go crazy. Oh my goodness.
A place called to
Bro.
be the most dangerous, entrusted with a very special deployment to what is soon to be the most dangerous war zone on the
Wow,
West
dude,
Coast.
I feel, dude, the Kents, cause like he might not even be in Kansas. Like he might be gone out of Kansas before Brainiac pull up, bro. Dude, he is gonna. Oh no, I can't even imagine. He's gonna run a kill streak up there, bro.
He turns
Bro.
away and stares at the war suit that he has developed.
Damn,
and
Brainiac.
smiles.
Isn't this the same suit that Lex Luthor was just revealed with for Superman 2? It looks very similar. Very similar. Just brighter colors. Very interesting. I wonder why they brought Lex Luthor again. I swear I thought they were going to do Brainiac. I'm surprised they're doing Lex Luthor for two different villains.
And that concludes the origin of this absolute.
But let's see it. All right, let's
Superman
go. Next
is
one.
on the run, and the Omega Men, Lois Lane, Lazarus, and Brainiac are looking for him. Who will find him first? Welcome to the Comic Story and Complete Story series, where you get Absolute Superman with issue number 8 by Jason Aaron. I hope you enjoy. Ra's al Ghul stands in his office in the Lazarus Corp Global Headquarters as an assassin from the Omega Men charges at him. Death to the oppressors! The Omega Man screams as he raises his energy.
I saw someone say this in the chat. Is it Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul like how we just said? Ra's or Ra's? I low-key be saying both. When I say just the first name, I just say Ra's. I don't say Ra's. I say Ra's. When I say the whole thing in total, I say Ra's al Ghul. So I don't know. Y'all let me know which one is like the accurate one. Ra's al Ghul both ways, so it's Ra's. Ra's, y'all saying both in the chat right now. Y'all are saying both, not gonna lie. Y'all real life saying.
But Ra's
y'all
just
saying both. Y'all not
and
helping.
catches the blade
No one
in
can
his
agree
sword.
which one. Clearly the chats. Y'all, I see an equal rate. I'm seeing equal people saying Ra's, equal people saying Ra's. I say both. I'm not gonna lie.
Director Al Ghul,
I
they're
just say
ready for
both.
you now on the earnings call.
His assistant, Ubu, calls over the comms line. Patch me through, Ubu. We mustn't keep the investors waiting. Ra's says as he yanks the blade away from
Damn!
the Omega Man and turns to
Yo, he buff as hell
waiting.
too. No way. This is Ra's, nigga.
Ra's says as he
Bro.
yanks the blade away from the Omega Man and turns to smash him in the face before grabbing him by the throat and lifting him into the air.
Jeez,
Ladies
gang.
and gentlemen, you know the year's numbers, but here is something you haven't heard. Ra's says as he lifts the assassin into the air, snapping his neck with ease. That is the sound of an assassin, sent by those who would dismantle everything we've built. I thought you might like to listen as I kill him, Roz says as he drops the dead body to the floor, smiling at the sounds of cheering coming from the other end of the line. He pulls the energy blade out of his arm as he turns to meet the other assassins, still speaking calmly to the shareholders. He's just a man! Kill him and we save the planet! The other assassins shout. Roz calmly steps forward and lashes out, punching one of the killers into a nearby wall, while at the same time speaking about how he founded Lazarus Corp almost 200 years ago and made it his mission to make the world a better place. I never imagined I might live long enough to fulfill my company's ultimate goal of resurrecting the world, Roz states as he kicks the assassin in the chest and sends him through a nearby door.
That nigga going
landing
crazy.
in a Lazarus pit.
Okay, Roz.
Activate Lazarus pit. Maximum power.
Wow,
Roz orders
bro.
The computer. The assassin begins to scream as purple liquid begins pouring from the ceiling. Roz nods.
Hit him with Nickelodeon slime. Yeah, nigga, that's tough, bro. Yo, the Nickelodeon slime back in the day was crazy. I always wanted to be on that show. I don't even know if they still do it no more, bro. I know kids TV has sadly been like it's literally a dead genre. Loki sucks because I think kids need stuff to watch. Like kids out here watching Rakai now. Like, come on now, man. Yo, youth is cooked. But yo, I always wanted to do that as a kid. I ain't gonna
turns
lie.
away,
I ain't
reaching
gonna
down and retrieving an old sword that had fallen from the wall. He glances in the reflection of the blade, watching as the other assassin rushes him from behind. But Roz sidesteps and avoids another blow. He whirls quickly as he takes the sword in two hands and slashes the Omega Man across the chest. Eventually, I saw the world for what it was, a maggot-riddled carcass. It would fall to me alone
Damn.
to bring this ravaged, overpopulated planet back to life. Roz tells the shareholders as he whirls around again and severs the man's head from his body with one blow. Roz sighs and looks around the destruction of his office. He turns and walks back to the Lazarus pit, staring down at the baby the first assassin has been reverted to. The day of resurrection is close at hand. Soon, Lazarus shall rise from his tomb.
Crazy,
like a newborn
bro. Crazy. And reverse this nigga back to newborn status, bro. Yo, imagine you fighting your op and he just reversed your entire life. Wow. Yo, I'd be sick. I'd be sick. You fighting your op, he just turned you into a fetus. Yeah, that's tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie,
Roz
that's tough.
says as he
I ain't
reaches
gonna lie,
down
that's
and
tough.
picks up the child. A lifetime ago, the name Ra's al Ghul struck fear into the hearts of the masses. The Demon's Head, they called me. He says as he walks back through the office to the balcony that overlooks the city. Holding the child
Reverse
out,
Flash stealing
he
that?
stares.
Reverse Flash would 100% do that too. Reverse Flash would hold Barry's hand and then run so fast he turns into a baby. Reverse Flash would do that whole too. That's crazy. Not even out of
Like
character.
Lazarus, I have been reborn. I am a god with the power to heal the lame, to restore the old, to save the planet from the billions of leeches who would bleed it dry. You may call me the God's Head now. My only regret is that I have no son through which to do this. Roz tells them as he releases the child, allowing it to plummet towards the streets of Metropolis below. Not yet, I don't. He turns away from the balcony without a second thought. Until next quarter, my dear friends of the League of Shareholders, Lazarus means salvation. Lazarus means...
You just boom a baby, my nigga? Oh, heck no.
sustainability and the power to
You
sell.
just boomed a baby, my nigga? Oh, this nigga gonna die. Nah, he need to get boomed for that, bro.
Lazarus
You need to
means
get boomed
hope.
for that, bro.
Roz tells the sheriff.
You need to get
as he
boomed
finishes
for
the
that. No way.
Crowville, Kansas. Cal stands in the hospital room of Martha Kent. He smiles down at the old woman.
No
telling her of
way.
his travels, telling her of how he found an island in the Arctic Ocean that you can look up into the stars and feel like
Crying.
the Flint Hills down the road, like home. Cal whispers. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a handful of seashells, placing them gently on the nightstand. I brought you seashells from all 5 oceans. You always said you wished you could see the ocean, Cal whispers. But Martha begins to stir. Her eyes are cloudy with confusion. Who are you? Jonathan! Martha begins to yell, struggling against her blankets. Cal tries to calm her, tries to make her remember him. It's okay. It's Cal, remember? But Martha is confused, lost in her own mind. Jonathan, there's someone in my room. Help! Martha cries.
No, she doesn't have her
Cal has
memory.
no choice but to fly out the.
She got no memory? Oh, bro. Nah, that's sad, man. Dude, that's sad. Either she got no memory or she don't recognize him. I don't think she not recognize him. That's kind of stupid. That's crazy.
Window.
Alzheimer's? Yeah, that's tough, man.
Shortly,
That's
he is
tough.
walking
I
down
couldn't
slow-
imagine having like a family member that you really love have Alzheimer's or dementia and like they just slowly forget you. Bro, that's like that I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Not even my greatest ops. Not even my biggest ops. Not even my biggest enemies, bro. I would never. That's
Although
crazy.
Main Street, when he
Wow,
finally
bro.
stops. You people have no shame, he says to the shadows on his left. Jimmy Olsen steps out with his hands raised. Are you kidding? I've got more than I know what to do with. I'm here with the Omega Men. I've been sent, Jimmy begins to say. But Cal cuts him off as he turns to his right.
Shout out that nigga
Doesn't
Jimmy.
matter. Whatever it is, the answer will always be no. That goes for both of you, he says as Lois Lane steps out of the shadows on the opposite side of the street. Lois has her hands open, showing that she's not armed. She walks forward slowly, trying to convince Cal that she isn't there for Lazarus. Just as me, Lois Lane, she says as she holds her hand out in a greeting. But Jimmy is suddenly there, pushing her away, pointing out that Lazarus is probably tracking her position as they speak. But Lois pushes him back, pointing out that the Omega Men are just as bad, and their boss lady put her father in a wheelchair. And your boss just turned a blind eye to 23 dead bodies in... Wait, where'd he go? Jimmy says as he realizes that Cal is no longer with them. Lois looks around, calling out into the night. She's studied Cal's history in Smallville, knows that he keeps returning there, saving people. I know why you keep coming back here. The Kent family farm. By all accounts, they were lovely people. Lazarus took that from you. Since then, you've been searching for a place to belong. I think you're looking for someone to trust. And I think that just maybe, she calls out. But there's no answer. Superman? Are you even still there? She finally says. But Jimmy motions to the closed down Main Street around them, shouting that Superman came back to fight for what's left of Smallville, to defeat the Lazarus Corporation, to take back the land for the people. But suddenly, the streets around them are full of red dust, and Superman appears before them, anger flashing across his face. Peacemaker Smith. I'm here because of him and the innocent people that he murdered in Pakistan.
Literally, bro.
I came here in hopes of stopping myself from killing him. Cal continues.
W-Mans.
But suddenly, there is a gunshot. Cal stares down in shock at the hole in his chest. Blood begins to seep out alongside a strange green gas. Lois
Peacemaker.
and Jimmy both draw their weapons as Cal collapses to the ground. Do you see a sniper? Who the hell's firing? Lois shouts.
Peacemaker.
When Jimmy motions to the peacemakers descending from the helicopters around them. Are you kidding me?
Dude, imagine if Peacemaker rolls up on Superman like this in the next movie. Bro,
Think.
that's insane, bro. Is Peacemaker in the comics, like besides this one, is he like a Superman based character? Because I didn't know Peacemaker till the Suicide Squad movie. I didn't know Peacemaker till then. But so I know nothing about how he is in the comics. Is he a Superman related character? Or is he kind of just like in miscellaneous DC stories? I wouldn't know for real. I didn't mean to mute.
Lois moves to help Superman up, but Jimmy whirls and aims his pistol at her. You're not touching him, he shouts. Lois shakes her head and lowers her weapon. Look, you and I, we're from opposite ends of the spectrum.
Peacemaker is an obscure D-lister. That's why the movies are so goated, bro. There's so many heroes that are like quote-unquote D-listers that are like household names. Guardians of the Galaxy, before MCU, they were like, would you even consider them D?
Ends of the spectrum. We don't agree on anything and never will, except for this. If we stand here arguing while this miracle dies at our feet, we will never live long enough to stop regretting the greatest failure of our lives, Lois tells him. Jimmy stares at her for a moment before lowering his own weapon. Help me get him out of here, she says. Meanwhile, the peacemakers have begun to spread through the streets, led by Peacemaker Smith. All peacemakers!
Oh, that nigga
secure the
look
perimeter.
insane. Jeez, yo, this design is raw. Oh, I like that, nigga. Oh,
Waste whoever's
yeah.
helping him,
That's
Smith
so
says
tough.
as he begins to move through the streets. Meanwhile, Lois, Jimmy, and Cal have taken shelter inside an abandoned bookstore. Lois is checking him and realizes that the bullet is still inside his chest. I thought he was supposed to be bulletproof, Jimmy whispers. Cal, I am having great difficulty extracting the projectile. Its composition appears to be... No, that is impossible.
Yo,
Soul says
I'm not gonna
as he-
lie. I don't know how much I like Superman having an AI. I don't know how much I like Superman having a Jarvis with him. Superman's already cracked. You can't give this nigga a Jarvis as well, bro. I'm not going. I don't know how much I mess with it. I think it was because this Superman is pretty lonely and they need somebody for him to bounce off of, even if it's just an AI. But I don't know how much I feel like. I don't know. I like the cape idea though, but like an actual sentient AI with what y'all think about it? An actual sentient AI with Superman? What y'all thinking? I don't know. I don't know how much I mess with it for real. Let's keep going.
Examines Cal's body. Don't care what it is. Just get it out, Soul.
Yeah, nigga, Batman need Jarvis. Yeah, I guess this is like a Batman thing more than a Superman thing. Like, I can see Batman getting shot and yelling at an AI to get it out. I don't know about Superman, though. I don't know about a Superman. I don't know. It doesn't feel Superman related.
As Soul
in my
works
opinion.
to extract the bullet, but the wall suddenly crumbles inward. There you are, Smith bellows as he reaches
But
down.
I like the cape thing, though. Like, I like the cape thing is really cool. I like the cape thing, like, moving on its own and being, like, an actual thing. But, like, this is kind of, like, it's kind of overbearing. That's kind of, like, a little too crazy. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think.
And grabs hold of Cal, lifting him into the air and throwing him through another wall and back out into the streets. Smith stomps forward, slamming his fist into Cal again and again. But Cal fights back and quickly gets to his feet, lashing out and punching
Yeah,
him
Superman has robots. Like, I don't have a problem with him having robots. But they're in the Fortress of Solitude, nigga. He just has this. Like, this is completely different, bro. This is completely different, bro. Completely different. Even the robot servants, I'm not gonna lie. If I was writing Superman's story, I wouldn't give that to Superman. But still insane, though. Still insane. Like, this is. I feel like this is just a little
the
different.
chest, staggering him. Peacemaker Smith's abilities appear to be upgraded, and the solar energy in your cells is rapidly depleted by the bullet's radiation. Kal-El, this fight could kill you, Soul warns. But Cal ignores him and hits Smith in the chest again. But the Peacemaker smiles. Cal's blows are getting
Damn.
weaker. Brainiac showed me everything. I serve the will of God. Smith bellows as he hits Cal in the chest again, bringing him to his knees. Cal tries to use
He's
his
putting
ice
that
breath,
work.
but Peacemaker Smith just punches him in the face. Kal-El, the bullet, is of Kryptonian origin. It is the planet's irradiated remains, Soul warns. Smith stands ready to continue the fight, but looks up as both Lois and Jimmy approach him with their weapons drawn. Get off him, Smith, Lois orders. Smith just smiles at them as the rest of the Peacemakers arrive. Weapons trained on the traitor and the terrorist. Guns down, both of you, the Peacemakers order. But suddenly, the streets are filled with the residents of Smallville. All y'all put your damn guns down and march yourselves out of Smallville. This is still
the accent
our
is
town.
crazy, bro. The
townsfolk
accent is
shout.
insane.
Smith smiles and turns to those gathered, prepared to murder everyone. Ha! God bless America. But suddenly, a glowing fist punches him across the face. Smith! Superman bellows as he beats the Peacemaker into the ground.
Oh, shoot.
Smith looks up to see
Oh.
Superman surrounded by
Oh.
weapons, now clad in more powerful armor. You should have stayed the hell away from Kansas.
Hold on. Hold on. What this is, man? Oh, hold on. I ain't know niggas going crazy.
Superman
I ain't know
growls
niggas going
as
crazy.
The red dust swirls around them, slashing at the Peacemakers, shredding their weapons and armor. Superman moves blindingly fast, his fists slamming into Smith again and again. I just punched you 1,000 times in 30 seconds. Stay down, Smith,
Crazy.
Superman orders. But Smith
Crazy.
doesn't listen. All that power, and you're still afraid of your own rage. Look at you. You've got my bullet in you, killing your alien ass, and you're still holding back. Smith says with a smile. But Superman steps forward, raising his glowing fist. Not anymore, he growls. But Smith's smile widens. He struggles to his feet and draws his pistol. It glows with another strange green bullet. Ha! Too late, pal, he says as he aims and fires. The round hits Cal's armor, knocking him back. Smith fires
Pierce
again,
it
and
through
another
the
round
armor?
rips into the alien, knocking
Yeah,
him
that's
to the
crazy.
ground. Cal tries to speak
Yo, that
to Sol.
bullet is
The system is
OC.
down. His friend
Oh,
is silent.
dude.
Ra's al Ghul. That's God's secret name. Brainiac told me, Smith says as he stands over Cal. He raises his weapon and aims it at Cal's head. God says, all we gotta do to save the world is murder a whole bunch of people. Smith tells him with a smile.
What?
His finger begins to tighten on the trigger. But suddenly, energy rips through his body. You forget yourself, Peacemaker. You belong to Brainiac, and I am always watching. The Superman is not to be killed. Brainiac says into Smith's mind before the Peacemaker
Damn.
collapses to the ground. and
W
passes
Brainiac
out.
for that.
Superman is still wounded, blood seeping from the gunshots as he struggles to his feet. Get me out of here, he gasps. We're trying. We just don't know what to, Lois starts to say. No, you, Superman says, pointing at Jimmy. Lois turns to Jimmy. You said you had a way to save him. Do it, Lois tells him. Jimmy doesn't hesitate. This is Agent Alpha. I need a boom. Jimmy
Saying
says,
Ra's al Ghul is God's hidden name is some crazy glaze. That gotta be like top 10 worst glazes of all time. High key. Like, I didn't even peep that in the moment. Saying that's God's hidden name, like, you are low key. That is like otherworldly levels of meat riding. Like, bro, the meat is so down your throat, I could literally see it in your stomach. Like, you, bro, that is like unfathomable levels of riding. Wow. Even Brainiac got to tell that nigga to chill out.
into his comms. Suddenly, there is a loud boom, and a portal opens in the street. Energy and light fill Smallville as the Omega Men pour out, opening fire on the advancing Peacemakers. Lois begins to help Superman through the portal, but the Omega Men Primus steps forward and places an energy sword to her throat. Not you, Lane, she says. The Omega Men suddenly disappear into the portal, leaving Lois behind. The Peacemakers surround her, aiming their weapons at her. Lois doesn't fight. She puts her hands in the air in defeat. What the hell have I done? She whispers to herself.
Ain't no
And
way.
that is where issue 8 leaves us. Next time.
Ain't no way. Alright.